I'm gonna kick that horse in the bottom.
Welcome, fellow travelers, to the Eyes episode.
The eyes.
Yeah, dude, kicking horses is where it's at.
Kicking horses is where it's at.
I'm all about kicking me some horses.
Me too, man.
Horses, horse girls, you name it.
Dude.
Kick them all.
Kick them all.
kick them out of here.
Small waist in your face with a big bass.
What was that?
I don't know, TikTok trends,
Oh,
man.
okay. Oh, wait, okay. I heard what you just said. For some reason, I didn't get it. You were mumbling a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like I mumble a lot. Do I mumble a lot on this podcast?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. Podcasters just roast us on Apple Podcast review if Russell mumbles.
No, don't. We need the good reviews, man. We got I think we have 13.
Oh, that's not bad.
You know, not bad. I think they're all 5-star, and they're probably mostly my mom just creating new Google accounts. And no, yo, go review us. Come on, please.
Yeah.
Anyways,
well, we're going to talk about season 2, episode 2,
Eyes.
The Eyes.
Well,
kicking off, man, title card.
Goodness, I didn't see. I think I skipped over the title card.
Title card is super menacing, which is so funny. Like super menacing eyes does not give any sort of like future reference to dumb horse eyes. I
gotta look this up because I'm really intrigued. Every time the do you want to skip the intro thing would come up for Hulu, I always did.
Yeah, and it skips the title card.
Yeah, but we watch. I've seen so many Adventure Time episodes of the same episodes over and over and over again now for this podcast that I'm just a little tired of the theme song, and they didn't change it. That's another thing I had.
Yeah, it's the same all the way up to the HBO specials. Like,
is it really? So, do they do like a custom version for those specials? Or?
They have custom ones for islands. They have custom ones for elements, and they have custom ones for vampire stakes, so Adventure Time stakes. And then I guess they maybe had it a little customized for HBO, but I think it was still like pretty good, like OG.
This title card is pretty dope.
Yeah, go check out the title card if you haven't.
Yeah.
Because it has like crazy menacing eyes, which is really cool.
It'll probably be up on our Instagram by the time this podcast episode comes up.
Yeah.
A little plug.
A little plug to the Insta.
Yeah, plugged. You've been plugged.
Well, give me your like high level vibes on this episode because mine is this is the episode me and my wife quote probably the most.
Really?
Yeah.
No. What do you quote from this episode?
We just say that horse got poo brain.
Poo brain. You do say I picked up on that. I was like, why is this such a familiar phrase to me? And
you've heard me say that for sure.
That is for sure why. Okay, that's interesting.
And
what else do you say? Is that the main one?
Well, I love the line in my tops of the episode is, I'm going to kick that horse in the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's like the most extreme thing they could have thought of.
I think so. It is such an epic kick. Like I love the animation of that. You see the wave, the like compression of the skin of the horse go through as the Ice King flies out.
For sure. But overall vibes, give me like your review vibe of this episode.
I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of this episode. And it's not necessarily because it's a bad episode. It's more so just I remember this episode a little bit from high school. My sister was watching through the series, and I remember it because I would probably always leave the room. I never knew it was Ice King as the horse, but this episode would pop on the TV, and you just have this creepy horse eyes just staring at him, and it gives you like Courage the Cowardly Dog vibes. And I would change the channel, or I would leave the room.
It's not a good one to start on.
I
can
it's
agree
not.
With that.
It just wasn't my episode, and I hate the horse. The horse sucks, and the horse is my most punchable character, and I think it's obvious why it's terrible.
Yeah, and not even Ice King, but Ice King in the horse.
Yeah, the horse suit itself. I really feel like the horse and Ice King are two separate characters in this episode.
Yeah, because even like characteristically, it doesn't even behave like the Ice King.
It's just weird. It's creepy. It's the eyes they haunt me, and I didn't have any nightmares this week that I know of. I didn't sleep a lot this week, but I feel like maybe the eyes were responsible for that.
Maybe so.
I don't know. It's fine. It's a good episode. Go watch it. It's fun. But I just didn't enjoy the first half of it.
Yeah. I have a little bit of like not mixed feelings, but like opposite feelings from you because
no, that's fine.
And my reasoning is because I love these, especially from last week when we did. It came from the Night of Sphere, and it's this huge adventure, and there are multiple parts of Ooh, and there's all these characters.
An epic episode.
Epic episode, followed by here's what we just do when we're chilling. Here's what just happened. And I love like cozy treehouse episodes. I love nighttime episodes. And it kind of has all those elements of like, look, we even the episode starts out with like,
I'm jealous. I'm jealous of you. Yeah.
And having like a good adventure at home.
I wish I got those vibes. I don't get those. I get creepy vibes for too long in the episode. And so it takes me out of it. It makes me not want to watch it. Just because I don't like those vibes, you know, but I kind of agree. Like I see how it's kind of like a fun, like chilled out episode where there's no high stakes or anything like that.
Yeah. And I just like the non-high stakes episodes typically tend to be a little bit more like character development. And
I like that.
A little bit who, you know, Finn and Jake are, and they're like how they talk to each other, you know, how they just have dialogue. And they're like, can you sleep? And he's like, nah, man, I can't sleep, you know?
This episode is tearing us apart, Ned.
It's good to have this episode.
This like, podcast, this episode's tearing us apart. It's tearing us apart, y'all.
It's tearing us apart again.
But you know, one thing I did notice, and this is a little bit random, not a tangent, but because it's related to the episode, but it is definitely a new point. Tom Kenny, who does the Ice King, I'm watching this and I'm just like, who is that? Like Ice King always to me sounds like Ice King, but then I started to hear another character in Ice King this episode. Could you guess who I was hearing?
I mean, not the SpongeBob.
It's not SpongeBob. It's from the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the mayor of the Powerpuff Girls is also Tom Kenny. And in this episode, he sounds so much like the mayor to me. I don't know why. It was so weird.
I'm gonna have to go I can't pull that out of my mind right now, but I'm now very interested and want to pull up some Powerpuff Girls.
Do it. Like, I recommend it. Powerpuff Girls was dope back in the day. But yeah, I don't know. That's just something that stuck out to me. That was my tops.
All right.
Yeah.
It was just Tom Kenny voice was just the tops.
It's just, the mayor. I don't know. I loved it. You know what? I think this podcast, this episode might be bringing us back together.
Bringing us back together again.
I think it might be bringing us back together again. Man, the first scene is nuts.
Yeah.
It is bonkers. You get, I have a couple thoughts.
7 days, no sleep.
Yeah. I've got a couple thoughts though of that first scene where we see just multiple different things that occur over time. Let's see. Put a tracking device on Slime Princess and LSP because those two are. I mean, LSP wasn't the one that was being captured or endangered in that first little scene, but gosh dang, those two princesses are always in trouble.
Yeah, Slime Princess kind of sucks. She always is in she always ends up as a damsel in distress in a lot of situations, and it's like the worst situations. It's like so lame. Like that, and you're like, why are you in this situation?
It kind of looked like a Rick and Morty situation though.
Yeah, that was being sucked into some like temporal aura portal or whatever.
Yeah, something. And then the second thought was, I think the dragon with the itchy butt from the Boom Boom Mountain episode.
Yeah, it was the fire dragon.
Might have been the fire dragon. It's a little less red. That's the only reason
from the episode where from Billy, the dragon that was chasing that guy around the fields.
I was in the Billy episode, had I been on it, which you locked me away in your basement dungeon and didn't allow me to be on dungeon. That. You said my henchman could be on it, but not me, which I was going to say the dragons are my most punchable characters in some ways because they're just like, dragons are so epic and so cool, and dragons in Adventure Time are the worst.
They're lame. They're like well, they make them like flying salamanders
with tiny, lame looking wings.
Yeah.
And then LSP is Spanish. That's cool.
Yeah, I was like, she's having a quinceañera, which is supposed to be your 14th birthday party.
Yeah, sure.
When you're,
I don't know,
in Mexican culture.
I'm pretty sure it's 15.
15. You're right, Mike.
Is that when they become women? I don't know.
Yeah, that's like their bar mitzvah,
coming of age,
Mexican culture.
Cool.
But yeah, apparently she's got a quinceañera, which means that, but there's no way she's 15.
I don't know. Yeah, who does? Anyways, Peppermint Butler killed a goblin, and then Finn and Jake cover up for him.
Yeah.
What can we break down that little scenario at all?
Well, I wanted to break it down in the fact that we do see Peppermint Butler's got some sort of cabin outside the Candy Kingdom. Now, I don't know at this point in the show.
Do we know that's his, though? Is that his cabin?
I would assume so.
So maybe the goblin was trespassing.
Yeah, but
and he said, "Don't come any closer. I'm going to kill you."
But there's a bucket full of water on the ground.
Yeah.
And I was like, is there something about water in goblins? Like goblins can't get wet?
Are there a lot of goblins in Adventure Time?
There's a goblin kingdom, and Zergiak is their king.
You nerd.
That's why. Hey, I have to. I have to make statements that tell my listeners that I know what I'm talking about.
No, I love it.
You know?
I wish you would do that more often. This is like, I feel like I'm talking to Stephen Colbert about Lord of the Rings right now. So my other question about goblins while we're still on this topic is there a social class or a societal role of a goblin in Ooh?
Not a societal role, no, because they have their own kingdom, so they have their own society.
But where do they fit in with how do other people feel about them?
So I've actually listened to something outside or read up on the wiki on this one that like goblins aren't inherently evil in Adventure Time because Finn goes, they're under the, drop a spoiler drop in this.
Spoiler drop.
But goblins aren't inherently evil. Like Zergiak's an evil king, and Finn actually goes to the Goblin Kingdom to save the Goblin people because all Zergiak does is spank them.
Of course he does. Yep. Yeah, it's got to be related to butts.
It's got to be butts, man.
Butt stuff. Adventure Time and butt stuff.
Butt stuff.
Cool. Okay. Well, I didn't have any real thoughts on that. I remember Peppermint Butler was my lovely of one of the episodes. I think it might have been.
No, it's from King of Nuts, wasn't it?
King of Nuts? Maybe it was. Yeah. He's just a freaking adorable, cool looking Peppermint Butler character. But if he's out there killing goblins, how does he convince? I just have so many little questions. How does Finn and Jake get convinced? I mean, this is so non-important to this entire episode.
No, but this is the meat.
I know, but I'm just so like, Finn, you're not even gonna like investigate. Like they just assume he's innocent and they move on. And if you're saying that goblins aren't technically inherently evil, we're just gonna act like that didn't happen. And like, what are they gonna do with the body? Are they digging a grave and burying the goblin?
As if the writers had in mind the whole plan for Peppermint Butler, that be like the canon of Peppermint Butler, then I think that they wrote it that Peppermint Butler killed somebody and got Finn and Jake to cover it up for sure.
Yeah. And he kind of plays innocent. He's just like, I just watched up on this.
And they fed a duck.
Yeah. Well, hoverboards are a thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that scene was, but there was a hoverboard in it. And why are they not just riding around on hoverboards? That's amazing. And then they fed a duck bread, which I don't think you're technically supposed to feed ducks bread.
Can I just jump in and say you're not
supposed to feed ducks bread?
No. You got to feed them rice or corn. They can't digest bread.
I thought birds couldn't. Well, rice makes them explode.
Yeah, isn't rice just as bad as bread?
No, ducks eat rice out of rice fields all the time.
Oh.
Well, you heard it here first.
Don't you feed those ducks that bread.
That's the lesson for the episode.
Why do you think the parks are covered in shit all the time?
I was looking for a lesson, and I thought it was to get some rest and feed your enemies to birds, but I think it might be that one. But I think it is what we just learned.
Well, my lovely of the episode,
give me some sugar, baby,
has got to be the duck. I don't know why. I love
that's
that
cool.
scene. It's like, we fed a duck, and it goes, bang.
Yeah, that's a good scene.
It's a great scene.
I'm almost jealous Can I steal it?
Yeah.
Can I just say that's
Dude,
mine too?
jump on the Duck Lovely bandwagon.
Maybe as we're talking, another character will come out. The Hawks weren't that cool. Like
snakes weren't that cool.
Snakes were dumb.
Yeah.
Ice King's a bore. I don't know. The horse is an a-hole, and I wish he would die. No, yeah, I don't know. So I'm gonna just say the duck is mine too, because I don't want to skip an episode without having a lovely.
Peppermint Butler's like good there, but I feel like the duck
killed someone.
The duck had a little bit more of a highlight like scene.
If Peppermint Butler wouldn't have killed someone, he could have been a gold star repeat lovely, but freaking I don't know.
Freaking I don't know.
I don't know anymore.
Well, we finally finished all those adventures, right?
Yes.
And they finally, you could see humanity in Jake and Finn, that they need sleep. Obviously, without 7 days.
They're so sleep deprived.
This last weekend, I went to Knoxville and hung out with my brother-in-law. And we actually went to a bar, had a drink. We dropped my wife back off at the Airbnb, went and had another drink. Got to talking about good family stuff, good conversation. And we pulled an all-nighter.
Pulled an all-nighter?
We pulled an all-nighter, didn't sleep. Walked to McDonald's at 6 a.m., got breakfast, walked back. And so I was about 30,
oh my gosh.
I was about 30 hours without sleep. And I could tell you at 30 hours, we were walking back and I was like, Jesse, I feel weird, man. He goes, I do too. And I was like, I feel high. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, it was like a euphoric.
Sleep deprivation is real. It's a real thing.
And I haven't done that since college.
I was wondering when the last time you did was.
And in college, I think it was still a couple of close, I got to 5:30 a.m. and I went to bed for an hour. And this was I pulled it until 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And then.
Is that the most sleep deprived you've ever been?
Probably so.
Okay.
At least in the way my mind state was, it was weird. So I feel for Finn and Jake that they are exhausted and they're angry at this horse because
that's interesting.
The emotional state. That's probably why they're not thinking clearly when they're thinking through.
No.
How to get rid of this horse.
I want to say the most sleep deprived I've ever been was for charity. I know yours was going out to bars and being a party guy, but mine was a charity, so suck it, Ned.
Was it dance marathon?
Yeah, it was UJ Miracle Dance Marathon, the 24-hour dance-a-thon. And I've done it twice. And the second time I did it, I did the standing challenge, which is you have to stand up. You can't sit down, or I think you can kneel, but you can't sit down or lay down for 24 hours straight. And it is so painful. Your knees are just swollen at the end of it.
I can imagine. I mean, I said that sounds awful if it wasn't for charity.
Man, at 2 or 3 in the morning, you start almost hallucinating. It is brutal. And it's so funny in this episode, you see they draw Finn when he's at his most sleep deprived state, when he's being convinced by Jake that, the Hawks aren't going to kill the horse, they're just going to take it away, tries to change how he's convincing Finn. Finn's character is drawn slightly smaller, squiggly lines, his face is obviously sleep deprived. I love that they did. It's a very short moment. There's I think 2 clips or 2 times that Finn is on screen in that little bit that you can obviously tell something is wrong with him, and they do it visually through the art style. And I thought that was very cool.
I didn't even pick up on that. So that's a cool subtlety.
Yeah, go back and check it out.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I love this episode. I'll go watch it again. When I get home, probably.
You're crazy. I will pass on this. It will not be on my top 10 for this season, unless the rest of the season sucks. I'm just kidding.
Well, before we dive into life lessons, how to get rid of horses, let's have a quick break for the ad.
What's up, guys? It's Kyle here from Cold Topic, presenting you the horse costumes for the Ice King's Winter Collection. Yeah, they're pretty rad, man. All you non-horse guys that are just guys, you know what I'm saying? Come on down to Cold Topic. We got some pretty rad horse costumes so that you can get into those cool moments where you can get real close and tight with those horse girls. Yeah, we know what you want. All you got to do, you come down here, we'll get you fitted. They're 4-legged. I know you're not 4-legged, but we'll figure it out, man. That's cool costumes. We got ones in all color spots. Some of them got spots. Some have tails. Some have mohawks. You know how horses are. What horses do with their style and stuff. Ice Skin's got you covered, and it's pretty rad. Let's check out what our buddy Chad thinks about his horse costume. Chad?
Oh, bruh. I hooked up with like so many horses with this sweet ass horse costume.
You did what? It's me, Elizabeth, your girlfriend.
Elizabeth, like, babe, if I didn't look this sweet,
Yeah, you're a horse.
we would have
I love
totally
it.
not gotten together.
I know, but you said you hooked up with other horses.
I did. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Wait. You hooked up with horses?
Babe,
That's my thing.
let's just pick up a couple of ice gauges and get the hell
Are
out of
we-
this cold topic.
Are we both in the horses? Thank you, Cold Topic. We found out our new king.
Oh my stars, that was such a bad ad.
My ad didn't go the way that we had planned.
Yeah,
I kind of like where it went.
cold topic did not get that pre-approved by us before we put it in the podcast. So.
I think, do we have to, Cold Topic, like, I think because of them, we have to make this an explicit episode,
Absolutely.
which is unfortunate.
Nah.
I don't know if it changes anything about this podcast, but Cold Topic, come on, man.
on.
Let us know at least.
Man. Well, we're going to finish up talking about the eyes.
Yeah. Opposite of cold, though, and this may not even be a point. Finn's wearing his red pajamas.
Yeah.
And every time I see him, I think of the fire tunic from the Legend of Zelda, like Ocarina of Time. We just random thought, I'm not going anywhere with this. I just think it's cool, and it reminds me of Zelda, and I'm a nerd.
Yeah, dude, ping the writers and see if that was, their influence.
Do you disagree, Ned? Is this
I don't
tearing us apart? Is this tearing us apart?
It's tearing us apart.
It's tearing us apart. Well, maybe we'll find something to connect on later on in this episode.
Maybe
when we're talking.
Maybe it'll bring us back together.
Oh man.
Well, I had a couple of thoughts in regards to we're getting to the point in the episode where they have identified the horse. They have not been able to go to sleep because they can tell they're getting watched, and they're going out to try to figure out how in the world to get rid of the horse. They can't close the blinds because the shadow's coming in the house. They can't move the horse across the hill because it keeps coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So we start with nice, simple solutions. And I wanted to run through like Jake's solutions to the problem.
Give them to me.
Get increasingly worse. And I was going to add, see if this is the dark side of Jake coming out. Because we start with let's just put him over there. Let's play the viola to try to lure him away because everything that's brainless likes music.
That was, I took offense to that part.
I think the writers wrote that in because they love music in the show. So they were ripping on themselves,
it's a fair point. I feel like in cartoons, a lot of times you have characters distract someone with music or, bring them into a room freaking in SpongeBob takes the music, the rave that's happening in his house and carries it out to a field and
gets all the jellyfish to follow him.
Yeah, so it's fair.
Yeah.
Some mindless people like music as well, I guess.
But
I don't know.
People are gonna hate you after that one.
What? Me?
I'm just messing.
I'm not mindless.
But
this podcast is tearing us
the
apart.
music doesn't work. It only brings snakes. Then
and he's doing
at that
classical. It's great.
Jake goes, dude, let's kill the horse. And I was like, we jumped to crazy sleep deprived notions here. That obviously they after all this violent adventuring, I can kind of tell they're trying to figure out how to be good in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying their best to figure out humane ways to move the horse. Because obviously Jake could have just if he can lift it and throw it, or put it on another hill, he could probably lift it and throw it just forever away, but
definitely could.
So they're resorting to non-violent actions at this point. And then Jake to just be let's just kill the horse. And I was like, it's really dark, honestly,
Why didn't they try and unmask it? I feel like the first thing I would have done was pull the mask, Scooby-Doo episode it. Just kidding.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that.
No, it's a horse. Is that what
horse.
horses look like? I'm making a joke. Is that what horses look like in this
Like,
world?
No.
I wouldn't doubt it. There's a lot of creatures we know of, like dragons, that look weird in the Ooh universe.
Like, I feel like other time we've seen horses in the episode, and Jake impersonates a horse, like with his stretchy powers.
Yeah,
impersonates a horse several times, and it doesn't look anything like that.
I don't know. I was just wondering.
No, I mean, like, we'll put a pin in that, because like we'll just keep our son hunting down in future episodes if we can find horses that look like that.
I think I'm trying to think of like what the theme of this episode is. And what I keep coming back to is that this episode is packed full of short-term solutions to long-term problems.
But it's not even a long-term problem.
But I know it's not, like, technically that's still a short-term problem, but the solutions, I don't know. I guess the big one, the main thing, I'm trying to find where that connects with the horse issue. I know where it connects with the Ice King issue.
You're saying that like they are finding solutions that are definitely short term.
Yeah, certainly.
Now the Hawks one was their best idea, though. You know,
you think so?
It was really stupid, because you're like, who in the world? Like, that's not going to work, and then it works. Kind of.
Sort of works. And then the Hawks dropped it over the house.
Drop it right back into the house. So I thought that was hilarious. So they were like, Jake, they're hearing our commotion.
Yeah. And also, like, what did they think was going on? Did they think the horse just, like, was really interested in them or something? Like, I wonder what the thought process was.
There probably was no
creepy
we
horse.
Talked about sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
It was like, we don't care about this horse in any other circumstance besides the fact that we want to go to bed really bad.
Well, let's talk about my theme, even though maybe it's not actually the theme for the horse situation. It is the theme for the overarching theme of Ice King, which is that he's coming up with these solutions to, like, a long-term issue of him being, like, depraved of friendship, you know, or like not having people he can trust and hang out with, and he's not happy. And I guess that's really what it is. He's just not happy. And then this episode, he says it in the very first scene when he gets booted in that, like, those first 5 clips. He's like having a picnic. He's like, why can't I just be happy? And then we see it at the very end of the episode when he says, I'm still not happy. And he just wants to watch Finn and Jake in order to see why they're always having such a good time, like playing leapfrog, you know. And his solution, well, one is to spy on them, you know, and figure out what the solution is. But at the end, he's just like, it must be rest. All I need is rest, and rest can help, but it's not going to be a long-term solution to the bigger issue that you have.
Yeah. And this is just another episode of us, like, looking in and seeing that Ice King is realized, like, when we went to that episode, when we're like, okay, I think he's going to be good. You know, after he met the Cosmic Owl, he's going to, like, be on this straight line path to being the best Ice King he can be, despite his Ice Kingisms. And that's the big thing here, is that, like, he really wants to know how to be happy.
It's a great step saying that, like, saying, like,
it's self-realization.
I'm sad and I'm miserable all the time.
Yeah. It's such good self-awareness on this Ice King part. And at this point, you could have been like, oh, yeah, he's totally not self-aware. He's just totally, like, insane, you know?
And he wasn't there, like, he wasn't technically trying to harm Finn or Jake in any way. Like, when he gets caught, you know, when they kick him out of, or when Finn kicks him out of the costume, he basically just kind of, like, I don't know, resides, I should go, you know? He's like, I'm just going to get out of here, you know, don't mind me, you know, I'm the Ice King guy. And I thought that was interesting. It's like, you're definitely seeing him not trying to be evil in any way, him just not being rational or really, like, I don't know, he's just being weird. Being weird.
Well, and he's just not, he wants to learn how to be happy, but he doesn't know, like, the social cues of even, like, what's acceptable. Like, just, he doesn't think it's wrong to spy on Finn and Jake. He doesn't, because again, he packs up his bags and he's like, don't mind me, I'm just getting out of here.
Yeah.
Like, not even paying attention that they were trying to get rid of him for, like, the last 7 minutes or whatever it was.
I guess we are to assume that he's done far more evil things than spy on people. So he has no regret at all for doing that.
Yeah. Or just the pursuit of happiness is like what he really
So much
wants.
greater. Yeah.
And it's greater than this whatever, like, moral don't spy on people is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
So I just thought, and we can get into my lessons of the episode.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Because this plays into that very nicely.
Though we did kind of already do lessons a little bit earlier on.
Yeah, well, you said you didn't call it lessons, you called it something else. I can't remember.
I don't know what we learned.
My actual lessons are everything brainless likes music.
Okay.
Was the first one. But the second one that plays into what we're talking about here is that find what makes you happy. Like, don't go in the pursuit of other people's decisions, other people's life choices, other people's careers, other people's friend groups, other people's, size of their pocketbook. That's not your pursuit of happiness. That you can surround yourself with good people. You can surround yourself with people that make you happy, but you can't look from the hill with crazy eyes and stare into the lives of other people and go, that will make me happy.
Yeah. That's a good lesson, man.
So
very NPR of you.
Oh yeah, I didn't use my NPR voice.
That was good, man. I like it.
Yeah, that's on the deeper side. Obviously, this is a really simple episode.
Yeah,
but that was the deeper side. Is like, truly, Ice King's not happy because he doesn't know how to be happy, but he's looking for it. And
yeah, he's like trying to
place.
Copy other people's, like what makes other people happy.
Yeah, and we see that. I think we see that in the world a ton with people being like, if I'm just Instagram famous, I'll be happy. If I just work for Facebook, I'll be happy. And it's not the case.
Do you have a personal example of that?
I just see it.
Can you bring it down to that level?
I don't know if I can bring it down to my personal
level.
Come on,
be real with us, Ned. Be open with us. I'll do it.
Oh, I'm not a unhappy person.
Ned doesn't cry. We learned that in season 1. Ned doesn't cry. I think if I'm going to relate your lesson to me, this is kind of silly, but I've got some really dope friends from college that I think are really cool kids. Not kids, dudes. And they will just at any moment in time, I'll just look on Instagram and they'll be out surfing, or they'll be in the middle of some beautiful beach, surfing massive waves. And I'm not really a surfer in any way. I've done it one time. I thought it was super fun. But it's not my ultimate happy thing that I do in my free time. But seeing that, you definitely get that man, why am I not doing that stuff? I would be happy if I was out there with them or whatever. And I guess that's how I can kind of relate to what you're saying on a personal level, is that, I think we all get that envy, whether it's fear of missing out or whatever it is. Yeah. But that situation, it's that's what makes them happy. And I'm spying like Ice King on Instagram, and I want to be happy myself.
Yeah, well, I finally was able to pull one out. Is that I've got a bunch of buddies that I'm in group messages with down in Atlanta, and so I'm in all the conversations about the fun stuff they got going on this weekend. Just got a message that they're having a Halloween party for a football game on Halloween weekend. I get that FOMO of wouldn't I just be happy? But I know
that's why it's all coming together.
Yeah, it's one of the many reasons that
why you might move. You might leave me, Ned.
And then we'll do remote podcasting.
Oh my gosh. Ned's giving into his fear of missing out. He's moving to Atlanta. Maybe.
Probably.
Jerk.
But that's the whole thing is that's not an answer. It's not a
maybe you'll find happiness in Atlanta, Ned. I'm not a good enough friend for you. Whatever.
You're silly.
No, I'm just jealous. This podcast is tearing us apart.
That's bringing us together. Isn't it a blessing?
It's something. I don't know.
Something.
As I was watching this episode, I'm like, man, I'm not excited to talk about this episode.
Yeah, well, we talked about the good stuff in it, man.
Yeah. And the outcome was you're moving to Atlanta, and I'm just messing. No, it was fine. It's good. Go watch it, y'all. But it's just not my personal
No,
favorite.
it doesn't. Yeah. And like, I think from what we've watched of the episodes, your favorites are very action packed so far.
Yeah,
like,
or goofy.
Dungeon was great. Goofy episodes are great. Nightosphere was great.
Though Rainy Day Daydream was on my top 10
yeah,
list.
it was in top 10
I don't know if
list.
it was top 5, but it was on the top 10 list somewhere. Yeah,
So,
man. Well,
there's going to be some good Treehouse episodes, but what did you have a tops of this episode at all?
yeah, Ooh at Night. I mean, I feel like it's just predictable, so I almost wasn't going to say it, but Ooh at Night's just really cool. Again, I talked about it last week, but in this episode, again, like most of it's in the dark, and for some reason, in my mind, the art style is coolest when it's dark outside.
Yeah, and I like this is that Ooh at Night that you just watch them do 7 days of crazy adventures and saving lives, and it just like kind of the peacefulness of a big tree house in a field. Just like it's really peaceful, even if there's creepy horses out there.
Yeah, gosh, man, I look out into my backyard sometimes, and I'm like so hoping I don't see something like that just staring at me. Like I don't know. It's never going to happen. It's
low key. It is everybody's like you look out the window at night.
Yeah.
And you're like,
what if a person's
you're
there
like
or
if
something?
a person was standing there, that would be the scariest experience of my life.
Totally would.
That is what scared me as a kid. Was like we had these big open windows in our den growing up, and you could see like out in the front yard. You could see out in the backyard, and like my mom would never like close the. We had like drapes, and we would just keep it open. And I was like, wouldn't that be the worst thing if I turned around and something was just like there? And that was like probably one of my greatest fears growing up. It's a terrible feeling.
I very similarly. It's not really something that's staring at me, but there was a gap. It's like my friend lived in the bottom of the cul-de-sac, and there's like the cul-de-sac and then 2 houses up, so like really not far, maybe 150 yards. And some nights after playing video games or hanging out with him, I would book it. I mean, it's dark outside. The one street lamp in our cul-de-sac is on, and no one's outside. And I say goodbye to him or whatever. He closes the door, and then I just full out sprint from my house, just out of like, I'm not afraid of the dark, but I'm just like, get me out of this situation.
Yeah,
and get me into my house.
That's a healthy fear of the dark.
Yeah. And, I was like 13, 12. I probably wasn't 13. I was probably like 10 to 12.
I mean, I'm still scared of everything that could be in the dark, not the dark itself, but the horses of the world that are in the darkness. That does scare me.
I'm afraid of horses and horse girls and guys that dress up like horses to pick up horse girls or other horses, apparently.
Or other one. I just went so wrong with that.
To each his own. We will not.
I thought that's where we were going.
No, we're not.
It's bringing us together.
We're not yucking any yums on this podcast. I don't know. Furry yums. I'm still not sure about.
Russell only yucks yums.
Ned, I got beef real fast. My beef is that it's not really even actual beef. It's just, man, I want an Avatar, The Last Airbender prequel series. And what I think that needs to be is Uncle Iroh, though unfortunately the original voice actor is no longer with us, but Uncle Iroh losing the war or losing the battle at, I think it's Ba Sing Se, and his son passing away. Like it starts with all that in like the first 2 episodes maybe. And then it goes into the aftermath of him coming back to the Fire Kingdom and him discovering the White Lotuses and like becoming a White Lotus. Spoilers for Avatar, I guess, but that would be so freaking cool. I was watching an episode the other day, and it just made me want that so bad.
Wait, why is this beef though?
It's beef because we don't have it.
It's beef because it's not there.
And I need it.
Do you want them to make a multiverse Avatar?
Just they have a post season with Korra. I want a prequel season with or series, not season, because Korra is 4 seasons, I think. With Iroh being the main character. I just think it would be such a cool, like, and darker, like slightly darker.
Yeah. Well, whenever Cartoon Network picks us up as full-time podcasters for all of their show reviews,
I'll help them write it.
We'll have a little poll over there at Cartoon Network.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, I don't know
That's
if they'll
the goal,
ever do
guys.
that.
If you take this podcast, just send it to Cartoon Network and say, hey, you got to hire these guys.
Let them know.
Review every show that ever comes out.
After, but also like before you do that, also like give us a rate and review on Apple Podcasts because it
Wait,
helps. What?
Where can they do that?
Are we wrapping up?
I think we're wrapping up, guys.
All right. You looked at your phone. I wasn't sure if you had another thing you wanted to bring up on this episode.
My last point was definitely on the main lesson of happiness.
Yeah. I guess, my lesson is Jake sleeps in the nude, and that's cool with me.
No spider silk pants.
He takes them off for that.
Pants. Yeah.
Man, you can, on Apple Podcasts, just look us up. Hopefully some of y'all listen to us there. And I know y'all are actually because I can see you.
I can see y'all.
iTunes, I don't know why I said iTunes. I meant to say Instagram. Instagram at neverendingadventurepodcast. This is a great professional podcast that we do. TikTok at neverendingadventurecast, Twitter, NEA_podcast. Follow us, y'all. Come on. And email at nea.travelerslog@gmail.com. If you don't send us a question, an inquiry, a bit, something like that, we're still in spooky season, even though I know this episode's coming out outside of spooky season. But Ned's feeling spooky, and he'll come for you.
I'm spooky year round.
Yeah, or his spirit will come for you if you don't.
My spirit's going to dress up like a horse and sit on the hill outside your house. And
yeah,
watch
if you don't send us stuff.
Yeah,
to talk about, because that'd be a fun segment.
That'd be a fun segment.
Anyways,
Ned watches the fans from outside.
Ned creeps on the fans. A fun segment in and of itself. Oh, man. All right. Thank y'all so much. This has been a fun little episode.
Yeah, fun little one.
Fun to talk about, not fun to watch for me.
Okay. We'll get to a good one soon.
Okay.
All right. Love that you guys.
All right. We all have poo brain. See y'all next week.
Thanks, guys, for listening again. I know we've done some crazy outros and crazy ads, but we do want to show our gratification for you guys for supporting this podcast, for listening to us again. I've been Ned. That's been Russell. That's been DJ Cowboy Hat / Michael as our engineer. And we love you guys.